Welcome!
Welcome to the omniverse of Nick, and the penultimate part to what if Breakdown joined the Autobots. We ended off last time with the beginning of a rising darkness and Unicron's emergence, and Ratchet leaving Team Prime with the synthetic Energon, kidnapping Arachnid, and punching Knockout. And on his scanner, he lone contacts Starscream, who is still with the Decepticons. And while this is going on, and Ratchet telling Starscream he has a plan, and he finds that Starscream is the most worthy asset to help him. Bulkhead, Breakdown, and Optimus are on the ship, stealing the power source, whenever Optimus says he wishes to face Megatron and destroy him alone. So, we get to the scene where their fight commences. Meanwhile, Starscream leaves the ship. Soundwave is most puzzled by this, because this is the one thing that he did not spy on, was the fact that Starscream was going out of his way to leave the Decepticon warship, and now he's pretty much the second in command, and he has no knowledge of why Starscream's doing it this time. And he sees Starscream whenever he gets there. Ratchet explains to him, "I have a plan that I think you're going to like. Plan that involves not only taking down Megatron and the Decepticons, but restoring the order of all Cybertronians." And he looks down at Arachnid, and it starts with her, and the two of us, combining our efforts into one. And Ratchet gets out the synthetic Energon and says, "This is the tool. This is the key that will help us destroy Megatron and restore Cybertron and Cybertronian order." And Arachnid wakes up, and the two grin menacingly and say that when the time comes, their plan will be full and completely unavoidable. Meanwhile, Megatron gets the edge in their battle with Optimus, and he begins to rise in power with the Dark Energon. But then Bulkhead comes in with the save, beating the crap out of Megatron and knocking him away. But then Breakdown comes, and he starts to fight Megatron too. And these are pretty freaking hard hits, because, I mean, it's Bulkhead and Breakdown after all. And this is a much stronger Breakdown, like, decently bit stronger Breakdown. But that doesn't mean that they're in the clear. Megatron keeps getting more and more and more power. So eventually they're driven off. And Megatron says now he has enough Dark Energon to reanimate Unicron himself. But once he returns to the ship, he notices something. With Soundwave, he's all alone. And he demands to know where Starscream is. And Soundwave pulls that Starscream left the ship, with him having no knowledge of why he left. Megatron says, "Find Starscream. And if you can't find him, don't concern yourself with the matter of that snake just yet. Knowing Starscream, it's probably just a way to get away from Unicron's emergence. Once this whole situation with Lord Unicron is solved, and I have my audience with the Chaos Bringer, then we can worry about that trifling fool Starscream. If you can't find him or bother to, don't bother. Lord Unicron is what we should be concerned about." Meanwhile, Raphael is completely healed, even without Ratchet, because Knockout's there, and everybody else is there, and Nurse Darby, and such. So, Raphael still lives. I wasn't going to kill him off. And Knockout says about Ratchet, and he thought that he picked up a stray signature of him far, far away. And he says he can go after him if Optimus wishes. But Optimus is very surprised that Ratchet left, and Arachnid is gone too. And Knockout didn't even realize this. And all of the synthetic Energon is gone too. Knockout says, this is a bad problem along with Unicron. And Shouldn't they take action? Optimus says that while Ratchet's stealing the synthetic energon and kidnapping Arachnid and going off to do something is a very noteworthy concern. He says Unicron is the main concern, the rise of the Chaos Bringer, and Megatron's allegiance towards him with the Dark Energon. Only after they deal with this threat can they even think about worrying about Ratchet. Let's just hope that he doesn't get himself killed. Little do they know what they're actually doing. Meanwhile, Bumblebee saves Nurse Darby and Raphael from the tornado and the storm and everything, because, Nurse Darby being her and wanting to leave and stupid. We then cut all the way to the point where Giant Unicron emerges, the first one. Breakdown is there to assist, and the whole scene goes the same until Megatron comes in for the save, and he proposes an alliance so for him to join and defeat Unicron. RC says, like your quest for power destroyed Cybertron, and who knows, you might even have Ratchet prisoner. Megatron is very perturbed by this because, the Autobots are missing a member as well, and it's their medic? Megatron then starts to connect the dots with Starscream and says, in all likelihood, your medic has been taken by Starscream trying to plan a coup or some kind of other half-branded scheme. But he says that that's not the issue that you should be concerned about. There will be a planet left for me to rule, and if you want this planet to remain intact at all, you would best take my offer before it becomes no longer negotiable, especially if Unicron's going to destroy this planet. So, he offers to distract the Unicrons while the Autobots make up their mind. So, we then get to the scene where Megatron is at the base and directs them to the inside of Unicron. And Optimus and Megatron fight side by side, fighting the antibodies. And then we see Bulkhead and Breakdown fighting side by side with their ultimately renewed sense of rivalry and fighting. So it'd be two very big rivals fighting side by side. So it'd be really something to watch. It'd be awesome. Then we get Optimus pulling the Matrix's energy and sealing away Unicron and becoming Orion Pax. Then Megatron manipulates him and forces him to go back to the Nemesis. Meanwhile, Breakdown, Knockout, RCB, and Bulkhead and everybody else are trying to figure out what just happened. They don't have Ratchet to go by, so the story of Orion Pax is almost nothing. So they have no idea what to think. But Jack still has the key card to Vector Sigma. So that plan is still going to go in motion. Meanwhile, Orion and Megatron are at the ship, and Megatron's trying to manipulate Orion and do this, that, and the other thing. Except the Warlord Ratchet, he probably would use that still, but he would probably maybe say Knockout this time or something like that. Breakdown. I don't think he would use Ratchet in this sense since he's not there, but hey, it's not really that big a deal if he did or did not. So, Orion begins to get into the fold of the Decepticons, working for them and trying to do Project Iacon. We're not going to get any Starscream or Orion, because Starscream was with the Con still. There's no need for him to go on the ship, and he's teaming with Ratchet. So yeah, there's no need for that whole segment. Meanwhile, Soundwave is the one, instead of Breakdown and Knockout, to go and get the power source. But RC goes in with all the other bots fighting alongside, and RC still goes into the Nemesis, except this time she gets sucked into the ground bridge by Soundwave way sooner, because Soundwave's the only one there to do the whole thing in the first place, besides Viacons, but there's not really much to mention there. Then we get RC and Jack going to Cybertron and getting to the key to Vector Sigma, while Knockout, Breakdown, B, and Bulkhead all guard the Decepticon space bridge. And you might be wondering how they figure out about the space bridge without Starscream. Well, Knockout and Breakdown are Decepticons, so I guarantee you that they would know where the Decepticon space bridge is. Same with Skyquake, more or less. So, yeah, they would definitely know where the space bridge would be. But they all panic and say scrap simultaneously when they see Megatron has arrived. But then Orion arrives to help out, and Optimus is restored with the key as RC and Jack return, and all of them escape, leaving Megatron alone and raging. But then he gets punched square in the face, knocking him back into a part of the whole space bridge location by Ratchet, and he is furious. So, you finally decided to show yourself, Medic. I should have known that you were planning some sort of attack. Wonder why you're not with your bot friends. They've been looking for you. Too bad they won't get anything to look at when I'm done with you. But then he's surrounded by not only Starscream, but 4 Starscream clones. But Arachnid is nowhere in sight. What is this plan with the synthetic energon and the clones being involved? And why is there no Arachnid? What could they be planning to do with Megatron and for the finale for Breakdown joining the Autobots?
Now get out!
What?
Get out! Everybody get out!